What's up, guys? Welcome back, or if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is episode 2 of my FC build series, and today we're going over another key component of the whole build, which is going to be the transmission. So a little backstory. I've blown an FC RX7 transmission before. They're very fragile, and mind you, I never ran a Turbo 2 transmission, though I did buy one when I bought my motor. Couple of years now, I was on track, destroyed a synchro, and then I had to get a whole donor transmission from Lucky 7, and then we kind of mended both pieces into one so I can have a functional transmission. And then not too long after that, my motor went out with coolant seals, of which that motor was rebuilt and put into Caleb's car, who's behind the camera. And guess where the transmission went? Into Caleb's car, which brings me to where I'm at now. So with this build, I want to make sure I do it right. I don't want to do it twice. So what I ended up doing is getting a non-Mazda transmission.
I beg your pardon?
So allow me to introduce to you my transmission. All right, so what is this? This is a combination of a bunch of different parts.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
First and foremost, it's not a Mazda transmission.
What's that? What's that, brother?
This is a brand new Nissan JK41B transmission, which I purchased through Z1 Motorsports. It was kind of cool because I received a brand new transmission on a crate. It was delivered by FedEx, so that was an experience for myself. But the influence behind it was I read Billy Johnson's post in Moto IQ about the JK41B transmission, or CDs for that matter. And the synchros are very, very strong as opposed to the Mazda synchros, which I've broken and multiple people have broken. This applies for the FCs, NA and Turbo 2 transmissions, and they also apply for the FD transmissions. It's just, they never planned for people to push so much power, so they fail, and that's okay. But I just didn't want to deal with it. Hence why I bought it right the first time, so I don't have to replace it later on down the line. If you notice right here, this is not the OEM bell housing. Here's the OEM bell housing. It's been completely cut off, grinded down. So a few months back, Caleb and I got an angle grinder and we followed the Fisch instructions to cut off the bell housing and install their rotary bell housing adapter so that you can run one of those JK41 transmissions or CD, whatever you have. And what's cool about Fisch is that they also make adapters for other motor applications. So like the LS, the 2J, and I think they just released the Nissan RB series, which is really cool. Modern transmission, you're able to adapt it to your platform, and then you just have to find some type of solution for the mounting to the transmission tunnel, which brings me to this cool little billet piece here, which is anodized. This is also a Fisch piece. It is a transmission adapter for an S4 RX7. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the FCs, there's Series 4 early gen, Series 5 later gen, Zinky, Koki. So they gave me a discount on it because they weren't sure if it was going to fit the S5, which is really nice of them. So I mocked it up, just the bracket itself on my transmission tunnel. It lined up, but I did have a few people on episode 1's comments bring up the issue with putting the JK transmission or CD into the FC tunnel. You do have to finesse it a little bit, but we'll get there when we get there. So we got that from Fisch as well. Obviously the bell housing, and the bell housing is really cool. First of all, it's gonna work with the clutch and flywheel package we have on the motor. So we have the Tilton 7.25 multi-disc race clutch, and then Fisch did recommend running an RX-8 starter. This is actually machined for an RX-8 starter, but I took it a step further. I ended up getting a Bonsai Racing high torque RX-8 starter. Now, the reason behind that, I've seen it so many times. RX-7s just struggle to start. That might just be their battery, their starter. Sometimes it's just because of the fuel they're running. I don't want that. So I invested in a nice starter, brand new, high torque, and I've had great success when I combined my previous starter with the anti-gravity battery that I've actually have on the 8.6 now. I think it's like a ATX30 HD, and it has really high cold cranking amps. And a lot of people kind of pointed out, how the hell does your car crank over so nicely? I guess it was that combination package. So I'm gonna run that same battery in the FC along with that bonsai starter, and I'm hoping we're not gonna have the that everybody else has. Or if you've been on the internet, I'm sure you've seen that little reel of Rai Takahashi from Initial D saying, "Peace out." And then he can't start his car. So yeah, I'm trying to avoid all that. Another thing about the Fisch package, it has a tilt-in hydraulic throwout bearing. On the side of the bell housing, there's two little ports. One is for the master cylinder line, the clutch line to get to the bell housing, and the throwout bearing. And it also has a bleeder out here, which is really, really nice. In this package that we have for the driveline, Fisch and along with a bunch of other people did recommend the Serial 9 short shifter. You're able to adjust the forward and back of the shifter, which is nice depending on your application. I mean, mind you, you're putting a Nissan transmission in a Mazda or whatever you're putting it in. So it's not going to be plug and play. That's just the nature of putting things that were never originally supposed to go into those chassis. But I've seen some people post it. They put it as far back as possible and they haven't had any issues. Now, of course, we're running the RE-Amemiya shift knob that I had on my NA transmission when my car was running. But the only thing that has been standing out to me is kind of the diameter of the shift rod. We'll call it the shift rod for now. Some people have said that it's just kind of janky, and I agree with them. There's this 3D printed piece right here. It just slips over. Kind of have to finesse it. But as you can see here, it's kind of just very thin, like compared to this piece that's been 3D printed. So I'll probably go to a machine shop, take them the rod, and have them just make me a straight rod similar to my GR Racing one that now lives in Caleb's car. I just want it to be the same diameter as a shift knob, and that's just for my personal flavor per se. But overall, why I did this: Turbo 2 transmissions, NA transmissions, FD transmissions, they're fragile. The synchros are glass. They don't like anything over 300 horsepower. And funny story, I actually called OS Geiken one time, and the representative even said himself, the casing on the transmissions are really fragile. And I was even interested in buying their gearing kit, and he's like, the gearing kit is not going to solve the issue for such a weak casing. So he kind of hinted at this transmission, which that's a big deal. If somebody's just like, hey man, like, we have it and we'll sell it to you, but the problem isn't the gears, it's the casing, the transmission. Another selling point for me, people like Johnson, Attack FD3S, beautiful car. He just did this JK41B swap on his car, and I really liked it. Obviously, Billy Johnson on Moto IQ wrote really good things about this. Yeah, it's doing it right the first time, so I don't have to do it 2 times, 3 times, because I've been at the track where I destroy my transmission and it sucks, and my boys are clowning on me because I'm waiting for a fucking tow truck, and it's just terrible. But yeah, overall, it wasn't too bad cutting the bell housing off. They even give you detailed instructions on where to mark the bell housing and cut it. You just have to be careful, take your time. It was a new experience for Caleb and I. We bought an angle grinder, and then we were going through different cutting wheels. One wheel was just making so much noise, and then the other one just pretty much cut it like melted butter, which was wild. But yeah, this is kind of what I've wanted to go over for episode 2. It's a big piece of the build. It's a main component of the drivetrain. Obviously, I have a few things coming along. So we have some interior footage that we want to kind of record for whoever's watching. We also have the differential, some stuff waiting from Ronin Speedworks for that. And then we have some more work to do on the 8.6. We're waiting for parts on that, hence why it's on a jack stand, but just want to say thanks for tuning in. And if you have any questions, comments, shoot away. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you liked it. I welcome you to subscribe. This is a self-funded channel. RX-7s are not cheap. Far from it, far from it. But I'm trying to do this right. I'm building this FC specifically towards my taste and what I want to use the car for. And also, I'm not afraid to modernize aspects of the car that are dated, aside from the motor, obviously. But, you know, the wallet can only allow so much. If you don't know RX-7, you don't know what that means. But other than that, thanks for tuning in. Peace out.